Okay, so now I'm going to be showing you how to start the buttons in Photoshop. We're going to double click on Adobe Photoshop Elements 15, launch the photo editor, and we're going to head to the S2 student drive. So we go to Open, S2 student, Graphic Design, Adobe Photoshop, and we're going to go into the buttons. Now, you might see some others, or I'll make an example folder. The one we're looking for is the 1 and 1.5 button template for buttons. So you're going to get to make a total of 6. So we're going to learn how to duplicate some layers if you haven't already today. We're going to go bottom left, right click on the layer, select duplicate layer. We're going to rename this 1.5 inch middle left when we're prompted. And it looks like nothing happened, but if you take the move tool, we can pull one up. They were just stacked on top of each other. Other way we can do this is we drag. So if I want to duplicate, let's say the bottom right layer, we drag it to the new layer icon here and release. And what do you know? There's another one. The only thing we didn't get to do was rename it. So we don't get confused, we're going to go 1 inch middle right. So all I'm doing is double clicking on that layer and it prompts you to rename it. I'm not going to do all 6 buttons with you. I'm going to show you what I expect for the one you're handing in. So you're making 5, anything you want as long as it's school appropriate, but the one you hand in must contain an element of design. So we're talking like line, shape, value, texture, size, or any combination of those. Color theories, we're looking at complementary, analogous, monochromatic, anything like that. Again, gradient tool could be your friend here. I have an example that I'm going to use. So I'm going to go File, Place, and I'm going to grab my shapes one here. So these are mine. Do not use these. You need to go find your own example on the internet and show me that you understand what an element of design is. Now when you place it, it might be quite large. So we're going to shrink this down. We're going to hold the Shift key if this is happening. And we're going to fit it into the circle. I'm just using Control Plus to zoom in. Once we're happy with it, you can use the arrow keys to nudge a little bit if you'd like. I'm pretty happy with that now. I'm going to take the paint bucket tool. We're going to pick a color, maybe like a softer blue. Yeah, there we go. And when I click on it with the paint bucket tool, it is going to ask me, do you want to simplify it? Yes. And we're going to start, I'm going to do all of these diagonal facing rectangles. Then, might do something like go find bright orange or a purple, something like that. And we're going to maybe add some accents or coloring to this. Something like that. So it's got that nice kind of like weaved pattern to it. Then we're going to take the text tool, and as everyone knows, this month I'm into Raider Crusader for a font, so I'm going to do KVC or my initials. So you have to have your name, element design, initials, and color theory. We're going to make that a little bigger. Again, staying on the inside circle of this box, or sorry, staying on the inside circle of the button here. I don't think this font color is very good. I'm actually going to double click on it, and I'm going to make it, we're going to pick our own color. So I'm just going to sample this orange actually, make it that color. So lots of people are like, well, then I can't see it. Yep, this is why I taught you how to use the option of right clicking, edit layer style, stroke. And we're going to move this slider to the outside or to the right. And you notice that the color should be going to the outside. There's that glitch. We're just going to select outside again. And now we've got a stroke that'll help our text pop. And you can pick different colors. I could do white. I could do gray. Yeah, you know what? I might stick with like a light gray or something today. And again, it doesn't pop quite as nicely. You know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to stick with that white or black option for now. Click OK. Last 2 things, we're going to use the elliptical marquee tool. We're going to hold the shift key and we're going to start dragging this out. And you'll see little marching ants on my screen. We're going to hit the space bar at the same time. So you can see my circle's not the correct size. I let go of the space bar, make it bigger, hit the space bar again. You're just dancing back and forth till you get that size that you'd like. Again, we can use the arrow keys to nudge it around. And now if you hit delete with the shapes layer, it deletes the inside. We want to delete the outside. So we hit undo. And we're going to go to select inverse. Make sure we've got that shapes layer selected. Now hit delete. Almost done. I will take marks off about 20% if you don't do this last part because it's so easy. We don't want to see this inside ring anymore. So we're going to turn off the top left layer icon. And now your button, one of them is done. If for some reason you drew on that layer, we can also use the magic eraser tool. So we're going to go top left and we're just going to magic erase that inside one. Couple other little tidbits or extra info. We are going to show you the gradient tool. So right now, if we go down to edit, we've got a couple different options here. You can pick different colors. So go like red to kind of a fuchsia color. But if we apply this, it goes across the whole page. So we need to confine it to one area. Guess what? You get to reuse that skill we learned earlier. And we draw a perfect selection of the circle. The problem is it's going to get specifically put on whatever layer we have. So we're going to make a new layer. I'm going to double click and call it gradient. Enter, and now I'm going to apply that gradient across there. So there's an example, and it's just on a separate layer now that we can move to wherever we'd like it. Last thing, when you guys are working on your images, this drives me crazy. I'm going to throw my Daft Punk image in here. Is you shrink your image down, and just because it doesn't fit properly, and I made the mistake of not holding the shift key when I started that, so we're going to place that again. Is the top and bottoms get cut off and you guys don't fill them. Drives Mr. Van crazy. So we're going to shrink this down some more. Okay, so all I care about is the mirror ball and the feet. I'm going to take the clone tool, hold the Alt key down. I'm going to click on the sky up here, simplify it. Yep, Alt click again once we've prompted that. Oh, it's only kind of coloring. Well, that's because our opacity is not at 100%. So there we go. We go in and we just clone and fill up that area. Perfect. Same thing, Alt click on the bottom. So make sure you fill in all the areas of your button. Elliptical marquee tool again, shift and space bar, dancing back and forth until you get that perfect selection. Select inverse. We're going to hit delete and escape, and then we're going to turn off our bottom left layer. That button would now be done as well. When you've finished all 6, you're going to go to File, Print. And if this pops up, just click OK. The important thing is I've been teaching you in Photoshop to print at that 20.3 by 25.4 option because it generally fills up most of the page. To fit perfectly in the button press, you must select actual size. Then hit print. That will come out of the printer. If I haven't done the button press lesson with you, I will come do that now, or you can go watch it on my YouTube channel. That is everything.